Hello, welcome to Module 10, Microsoft Access. What is Access? Access is a software program that holds a lot of information. They call it a database, so it holds a lot of information. It can be any kind of information. For example, for a large company, it could be all their product information, their inventory, or it could be all of their customer contact information, and it usually holds quite a massive amount of records. They're held in what's called tables, and I'll give you an example. I'll double-click Products, and here we go. It looks kind of like an Excel spreadsheet where it has column titles, Product ID, Product Category, and so forth. And there's quite a few rows, and if you look down at the bottom, there are actually 182 rows. Each row is a record of information, so there's a lot in here. What can you do with this type of database? Well, you could print out things in particular order. So if I click in any product in the product column and choose ascending order, it puts it in alphabetic order. Then I can remove the sort. And then in any monetary value column, if I click that, I can choose descending, and it'll show it from the highest to the lowest. Remember, just like in Excel, when you have hashtags, the column is not wide enough, so I double-click in the boundary area to be able to see all of the values, and I'll remove the sort. You could also pick a particular category. For example, I'll choose beverage, and then I'll click selection equals beverage, and out of the 182, 22 are under the beverage category. To remove the sort, it has a filter here. To remove it, click toggle filter, and you go back to your original 182 records. This table, suppliers, is a much smaller. There are only 8 records of information, and this is supplier contact information. So we just looked at 2 different tables, and we're actually going to create our own from scratch. So I'm going to close out of here, so you must close the tables first, and then close out of Access. And we'll actually open a brand new Access. You name it right away, so choose Blank Desktop Database, and the name of this one is 10-PGB. Choose Create. And the first thing we're going to do is click Create, and we'll choose Save. And instead of having the tab called Table 1, we'll give it a name, Regional Managers. And once you press OK, the tab will change to Regional Managers. And in the window pane, all the objects, the first table, instead of being called Table 1, will be called Regional Managers. And click OK. So the first column category is called ID. And if we don't change it, it will stay as auto number, meaning it'll number them 1, 2, 3, 4. But instead, we're going to change it to short text. So click the gray ID, then with the new tab that says Table Tools, choose Fields, and change it from auto number to short text. Then click to Add, and choose Short Text. And instead of just called Field 1, we'll type Regional Manager last name. Click the next one, Short Text. Same thing, Regional Manager first name. And the last one will be short text again, Region. And then click Save. You always want to save the floppy disk. So we just created our very first table called Regional Managers, and we did it in what's called Datasheet View. So make sure if you haven't already, click the floppy, and then we're going to create a new one. Choose Create, and then choose Table, and right away Save. And this one's just, instead of Table 1 again, it's going to be Stores, and then click OK. It'll change the tab here, and also in the left-hand pane, it'll change to Stores. So instead of doing it through this version, which is Datasheet View, you're going to click the View button here and change it to Design View. It's the same process, but just a little bit different visually. So this one, instead of just ID, it's going to be Store ID, and then press Tab, and you want to choose for the data type short text. This one's going to have a small description, 4-digit number preceded by S dash. And then Tab. This one will be called City. tab. Short text is fine, so tab, tab again. State. You can also use enter if you'd prefer. Short text is fine, no description, keep going. Regional manager, and this is abbreviated, ID, and this again is short text, again, tab or enter. This one is prior year sales in tab. This one is actually going to be currency, so click the down arrow and choose currency, and then tab or enter. And the last one is gold star status and tab. And this one's actually a yes/no response. So choose yes, no. And there is a description. Yes. If store met sales, profitability, and community goals in prior year. And then click Save. All right, let's go back to the Regional Managers tab. And this is in the data sheet view, so click the down arrow for View and go to Design View. And we're just going to change the name instead of just ID. It's going to be Regional Manager ID. And then what we'll also do, if you come down to the field size, it's 255, just type 6. I'm going to change it to 6. And then in the description, we'll type unique 6-digit number assigned to regional manager. It's abbreviated. Click region so that you're in the region field, and we're going to actually choose insert row. We want a blank one above it, and this one's going to be date, hired, and enter or tab. And for this one, we're going to select the down arrow and choose date and time. Then choose regional last name, and that's a very long field name. So if you're in regional manager last name, click down in the general area on the bottom, and in caption, just type last name. Do the same thing for regional first name. Go to the caption and just type first name, because otherwise it's a very long column title, and we'll see what happens in a minute. We're going to choose Save, because you always save, and then we'll click View Data Sheet, and just to show you, it no longer says Regional Manager Last Name or Regional Manager First Name. It just says Last Name and First Name, so it saves on space. All right, so we're back into Regional Managers, and we're in Data Sheet View, and we're actually going to start recording data. So the very first one, the information is 2211337, and notice the 7 doesn't go in, it beeps at you, because we set the value to not to exceed 6 digits, so it's telling us you've got all your 6 numbers, so that's a good thing. You can press Tab and type in the next one, which is Marshall, and then the next one, first name is Julie, and then the date hired is 3-1-16. Notice when I press Tab, it adds the 16 to 2016. The region is Northeast, and then you press Enter and you type in the next one. These are on page 264. And then use Tab, Tab, and keep going. This one, they actually want your last name and then your first name. And I'll put the wrong date in here. This should be the 16th. Okay, click Save, And then we're going to go to stores, and we'll go to data sheet view, so we can start filling this one. And the first one is S-1122, tab. Oakland is the city, and the state of California. And the regional manager number is 332765, and the value is 1075533. And then you do not have to put any decimals, dollar signs, commas, nothing. On this one, we are not going to check off a box, so we'll press enter and fill in the rest. Again, this is on page 264. A different value. This one does have a check mark, so you'll click the box to get a check mark, and then enter. And the next one. And this is a no. And this one is a yes. We're in the stores table. Now we're going to click back to the regional managers, and we're going to make a few changes. Click the Low, last name Low, and then press F2 and it selects it. And we're going to type instead Martinez. And then tab 1 and a new date. Okay, and enter. And then click Marshall, F2, and this one instead will be Ross. And then we'll also change the number, the value in the store, so click the Stores tab. And for the very first one, you're going to click in there. You'll backspace 9 times. And then you'll type 92445. Press enter. Again, it fills in all of the commas and the decimals. If you notice that both prior year sales, it's chopped off. Again, if you hover up in between the boundary and double click, you'll see all of the title. And the same thing with gold star status. Double click, just like you would in Excel. And that widens the column. And then save. So now we're going to close both of these tables. So over on the far right on the tab bar row, click the X to close on both of them. And then just carefully click the Stores tab just once. And then you're going to choose Create, and you're going to choose Form. And it puts it, instead of the data sheet, which looks like Excel, it's in a form base, more like where you would tab to fill in the fields. Down at the bottom, you have 1 of 4, and if you click the next record, you can see all of the information. We're actually going to put in a new record, so this little arrow with the yellow dot, go ahead and choose New Record. But right now we can't type in here because it's in Design View. It has these dots around the box. If you choose this top one here, or the down arrow, and because right now we're in Layout View, choose Form View. Now you can actually fill it in. And this is on page 268, so I'll fill in the information. Tab. And state, and again the regional number, and the value. And this one is a yes, gold star member. And then you can just press tab, and we're on to record 6. We'll put in the store ID number, and then tab, the city, and the state, and the regional ID number, and then this is a 2, and the value. And this is also a yes. And we're finished. We're not going to create another record, but we went from 4 to 6, and we can click Save. And if you want to give it a name, this one, you can type Stores Form if you'd like. And you'll notice it comes under here as Stores Form. And if you go back to your stores, you'll see the two that we just added are in there, in the table datasheet view or in the form view.